I love the story that my mom and my dad always used to tell me when they were pursuing the American dream. They always said this one phrase to me, which was, money is hard to make in this country. Watching them grow up, and as I grew up with them, I started noticing how they made it more difficult to make money by just saying this one phrase. And, I've been noticing this even more as I've, left college and every time I go back and visit them. And it's interesting to me because every time they say money is hard to make, they are putting blinders up in front of their eyes of finding new interesting ways of earning a dollar in this country. And, they always used to tell me, and they still to this date tell me, like, Herschel, it's so hard to make money. Just wait until you go into the quote unquote real world and you'll see how difficult it is. And, their words and most importantly, their thoughts are so powerful, and it's made it nearly impossible for them to make any substantial amount of money. And this is where the law of attraction comes to play. And there's another story of, back in 2013, I went to a new doctor to get a routine checkup. The routine of, checking my blood pressure and checking my blood temperature. And as soon as he started listening to my heartbeat, he immediately said, I think you have an abnormal heartbeat. And without much explanation of how he came up with that conclusion, he set me up with another doctor, another specialist to check my heart out. So just picture that. Just imagine how I felt during that whole time. And the really interesting thing here was the week following up to that heart checkup, I instantly started to feel more sick. And this was kind of interesting to me because never before that day when I went to see that doctor did I have shortness of breath or I didn't have heart pain. And all of a sudden, after this appointment with this doctor, I started having, these pains in my heart, and my heart would start beating fast out of nowhere, even when I was relaxing. And which, with all these symptoms coming up, it made me more worried and more sick. So it turned into this terrible cycle that I was in. And, I waited to go see my doctor, and, the day leading up to checking my heart out, I already declared in my mind that, I'm screwed. This is how I'm going to die with this heart condition. And, an hour later after the doctor checked my heart, he called me back saying, everything is normal and you don't have to worry about anything. So what the heck was I worrying about this whole time? And more importantly, why did I become physically sick when there was clearly nothing wrong with my heart? And this is, again, another definition of the law of attraction. My favorite quote, I have it in front of my desk every single day and I read it every time I'm doing work, is, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. And this is such a powerful statement here. And I've realized, talking to other people who believe in the law of attraction, they believe in the statement. And it's so hard to talk to other individuals who do not believe it, mainly because the law of attraction isn't backed by science or real data at all. It's like this idea of just positive thinking. And the best way to explain this is, by what this one founder, the company is Mind Valley by Vishen Lankani. He said that the way to describe the law of attraction is the way we explained the sun before we had telescopes, before we had satellites up in the space. He said that even though we didn't know what this, big, bright thing in the sky was, we still used it, and it was incredibly helpful to our society. Even though, we clearly didn't know by science what this thing was, we still used the sun for warmth. We still used the sun for navigation, and we used it to grow our food. And this is where the law of attraction comes into play again. Even though we don't have real science backing this idea up of positive thinking, we can use what it can give us, what it can help us in our journey of getting what we want. And I've also realized when I've been talking to individuals who believe in the law of attraction, they all have similar characteristics. And the first is they come from a place of gratitude. You can't, achieve anything more than what you currently have until you don't appreciate what you have. And, at the end of all my podcasts, at the end of all my videos, I always, express gratitude of how this podcast has changed my life, how humbling I've felt in this process of creating this movement of mindfulness. And I do this because I want to come from a place of abundance rather than scarcity, where, I'm always looking for something more because I'm always lacking something. When you come from a place of abundance, that's when you start to attract more into your life. And the second thing here is that these individuals believe in every fiber in their body that they can achieve what they think, what they can think. And this is so important. And, the way I can explain this is, you need to embody what you want right now. And, I was listening to Jim Carrey's talk with Oprah back in the late 90s on YouTube, and he tells a story of when he wanted to become an actor, he wanted to, earn money so he can, live, more comfortably. And what he did was he wrote a $10 million check to himself and he put it in his wallet and he gave himself 3 years to achieve this. And every day, he would look at this check every single day until, in 1995, he got his first major movie deal, which, gave him that $10 million. And the third thing, alongside with believing in every fiber in your body that you can do this, is you need to visualize every single day of how you want to live your life. And I even do this right now. Every morning I wake up and I write in my journal of how I want my life to look a year from now. And I do this because it gets my day going in that direction of what I need to do today to get what I want a year from now. And going back to Jim Carrey's, example, he would drive to the streets of Hollywood and he would visualize the acting lifestyle and making movies. And he would tell himself, I don't have this stuff, but I do kind of, I feel it in my body and it's going to come. I just need to put in the work. And there is power in this intention of how you want to run your life. Because so many of us, and it's so easy to do this, where our life dictates where we want to go, rather than we dictating life of where we want to go. We need to be in the driver's seat and achieving all the things that we want to do. And it comes from the idea of law of attraction and visualizing how you want your life. In the art of being mindful, we need to realize that we need to have direction in our life. And in order to make this possible, we need to be priming our mindset to believe that we have the things already and visualizing what we want further in the future. The only way we can do this is by, the power of intention. And I'm going to leave you guys with this one question. What is one thing you're going to set as an intention right now, today, to make your life better for tomorrow?